Hello, and welcome to another Toasty Hen podcast. This is my August update, but a little bit late because we're almost halfway through September already. But I did record this at the end of August, beginning of September. However, when I went to edit, more than half of the video somehow switched to slow motion, and I have not had time to go back and figure it out or record until today. So here we are. So this is kind of like what I've been working on in September a little bit and what I worked on in August. To start, I'm wearing my tessellated vest. I did make this one quite cropped. So I like wearing it over a button-down shirt or over a dress. So this is the tessellated vest by Andrew Mowry. Here, I'll stand up so you can see some of that color. I did hold 2 strands of mohair together. The Ariel mohair. I held 2 strands of that. So I really like this vest. I don't necessarily love how this yarn, I don't remember which one it was off the top of my head. I don't love how it blocked out under my arms and for the band here. So I may end up reknitting that. For sure here, I'm just going to redo that little bit of ribbing. Because I just do a few less stitches because I do find that it kind of like bows out, and I did block it and it still does that. So I'm probably going to end up redoing that, but I really like this vest. It's a really great transitional piece to layer like this, wear with a button down, or I often wear it over like a t-shirt too. So anyway, let's get on to what I've been working on. We're going to start with a couple sort of done projects. One of those is this cute little unicorn that I crocheted. I actually made all of the pieces for this like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and then it got put in a bag, and when we moved, I didn't know where it was. So in August, I pulled this unicorn out and I put the stuffing in and sewed all the pieces together. I went to make the mane and tail and did not love the yarns I had for that. So I did a little bit of shopping and I picked up this sparkly like lilac lavender purple to make the mane and tail, kind of keeping the same sparkle yarn that is in this little crochet unicorn. So I need to do the mane and tail, and I plan on making like the little crochet corkscrew. So once I finish one of the projects in my basket right now, this will be next. I have a busy day tomorrow, so I might not actually get to it, but I should be able to get to that this weekend and get the socks. And this was also in a Finish Your Frog. So there's an update for a Finish Your Frog project. The little unicorn for my daughter. Next up in that done but not quite done is the Dana baby cardigan. You've probably seen this around, working on it for a while. It was on pause because I was waiting for more yarn to come in, and it did. Oops, got the big string in there. So I was able to finish the sleeves and finish all the knitting on the body. And I love the way this little cardigan turned out. It does need to be blocked, and the scary part will be V-ends too. But I plan on steeking this, and I just have not had the emotional capacity to figure that out. So the knitting is done. I did make the body slightly cropped compared to the sleeves, but this will be for my daughter, and hopefully she'll get to wear it in the spring. She's already grown like a little weed, so I'm hoping that this fits her. I made like the children's 3, 2, 3, 3, 4, I don't remember, size of this little cardigan. So soon to be cardigan, currently pullover. Now I have a couple like true finished objects. One of them very much needs to be blocked, but that is my Peace and Happiness shawl. I am so excited to have this done. Yep, I'm showing you the right way out. So this is done, is off the needles. It's a really fun shape. So about halfway through, you stop increasing on both sides because you continue that decrease up the middle. So then your center line ends up traveling. It's got so much gorgeous, fun texture. So a contrast, high contrast is really good for something like this. I love all of these textures, and you can see my progress keeper is right here. So I did quite a bit. I probably did about a third of this shawl in August, and it's bound off. I did weave the ends, but I did not cut them because I plan on doing that after I block it. And we have a couple warm days, so I might get to blocking this week. We'll see. But the knitting and everything is done. It just needs to be put on blocking mats to get some of that, some of the wrinkles out. That's all. So I am so happy to be able to wear this fall. Honestly, I feel like it kind of matches my tessellated vest. So maybe I could get away with wearing both, but we shall see. But when I was working on my Peace and Happiness, I thought I was going to run out of yarn. I played some major yarn chicken. This is all I had left of color 1 and what I had left of color 2. So I don't know. I didn't actually swatch for it. I know. I just got started and then I swatched later once I was into it because I know. But that is what I had left. And I think what I'll end up doing is probably adding this, because this will be enough for a couple of rows on a sock, or I'll throw it in just my scrap bin and use it up for something later. But I think this, I didn't weigh it, but I think this should be enough for a heel and toe of a sock. So that'll get thrown in my sock bin. This one will be thrown in my regular scraps. But I thought I was going to lose, and I won, and I was so happy. The other thing that I finished in August was my Granny Pop pullover. So I will put in a picture of me wearing it because I did wear this to my local yarn store recently. So I am so happy that this is done. The colors turned out great. I did kind of run out of yarn on my sleeves, so I just made them a little bit shorter. Not a big deal to me. I actually prefer it with like a 3/4 sleeve. Obviously, I'm wearing a 3/4 sleeve today, but especially with like a crochet or knit garment, I tend to run on the warmer side, so I like having a slightly shorter sleeve. So, yeah, this is the Granny Pop pullover. I flew through the body of this, and the sleeves took me a little bit longer just because I had to do like the math to figure out the yarn. But it is done. I'm very happy with the way it turned out, like I said, and I cannot wait to wear it this fall. It's going to be a great piece to wear this autumn. So anyway, there's my Granny Pop pullover. So I work on flying through things. I'm trying to go fast because I still have to go make dinner. So it is what it is. We're going to move on to some works in progress. So in this little patchwork pouch that I made is my Turkish Delight socks. So I did end up on the sock that I had made before, I did end up redoing I am going to redo the bind off, but I did end up adding some more ribbing just because I kind of liked that contrast and having a little bit taller of a sock. But I need to figure out a sewn bind off, and I've never done one of those before. So I figured I would wait until they're both at this point and do one after the other so I don't forget in between. But the second sock is almost ready. I am about 1 or 2 rows away from adding the second color for the ribbing. Sorry, this yarn is in the way and you can't really see. So this pair is almost done. I have been working on this quite a lot, and you can see this progress keeper is from where I've done all of this plus the heel since I had recorded that other video. I think my progress keeper in the other video is like down here, and then I moved it, and then I went to edit and realized I recorded everything in slow motion. So I have done about half of the sock in September, and the first half of it was done in August. But these are Turkish Delight socks. They have that really fun texture. They are toe up. And I am very nearly done. I should be able to finish, if I work on these tonight, I can probably finish the ribbing and do the bind off either tonight or tomorrow. It's my second finished pair of socks. technically my third sock this year because one of them I did not knit this year. But it'll be my third pair or second pair. All right, here's a new cast on because I couldn't help myself. However, this has been on my list to make for a while. So it is living in my float tote. Last year, I made 2 shift cowls. I made one for my mom and one for my mother-in-law. And I bought the yarn to make myself one. So I picked out this blue. Actually, this blue is left over from my mother-in-law's because originally I was going to use the gray that I used in my granny pop. This like multicolor and then this maroon. And I'm actually going to use up a couple random blue scraps that I have because I think it'll work really well. But here's my shift cowl so far. I need to find a progress keeper to put on this, but I'm through the whole first section and about halfway through the second section. And this is all some mosaic color work, and I really, really like the way that these colors are looking so far. You can kind of pick up on those multicolor here. That is my color 1. So this has been done pretty much in the month of September. I started it at the very end of August. So I think I had only done like this much. So hopefully in my September update, I will be have way more progress to show on my shift cowl. I wanted to get to mine last year, but I had a little bit going on last year, so didn't quite get to it. So yeah, there is my shift cowl so far. It's almost getting to the point. For a while, it's fairly mindless because you're kind of just repeating the same sections and you're adding stitches. So it can be a good travel project. However, you still also you're connected to multiple yarns, so somewhat portable, but it's an easy stitch pattern, so it's easy for me to take if I get to go to social knitting. So this next one, based on my progress keeper, I did show it before, but it has been a while and there is a lot more progress on it. And this is my daughter's Christmas stocking. So my previous progress keeper was up here before I did this mitten section. I think this stitch marker was the one I was using here, and when I finished the toe or the heel turn, I think I just forgot to put it back where it was because all of the other ones are the little light bulbs. So I'm pretty sure that this stitch marker was my section one. Anyway, but I've done quite a bit on here. I did this pink section, the mittens, I did the whole heel turn, and now I'm working on the foot. I do have a few charts lined up to make the foot of the stocking. So I'm going to do a blue section, a bigger green section, and then I think I'm going to do another pink and then another green. I think that'll balance really nicely. So we have a whole collection of stockings. So this one is, like I said, for my daughter. This one is my husband's. So I love some of these motifs in there. I don't know which one is my favorite, but I did his with the axes, and I don't know. I think I like the wreath, but this one, this classic snowflake, might be my favorite. And then mine is the first one I ended up making because we did a doodle along at my local yarn store a couple years ago. So this was the one that started it, and I kind of went for the mid-century modern vintage Christmas. That's kind of the theme of all of our Christmas decorations. And I ended up I had done the toe of or the foot of mine differently, and I did not like it. There was too much. There was a big pink section here, and color wise, it just looked off to me. It was probably fine, but I've been trying to keep them very balanced color wise, and something about it just wasn't right. So I ended up picking up my stitches here, cutting this section out, ripping back to this red section, and then I reknit the dragons and I grafted the toe back on because I liked this green one. So it does need to be blocked because, like I said, I did do all of that. So it does need to be blocked because it's sitting a little funky. But I love the way our stockings are turning out. And this is all out of Blue Sky Fibers worsted Blue Sky wool stock. And after I knit mine and my husband's and most of my daughter's, that is when I learned about dominant yarn in color work, specifically stranded color work, because when I am knitting, I hold, and I normally am an English knitter, and I hold my yarn in my right hand, and I can continental tension only when I'm doing stranded color work. So I hold one strand in each hand like this, and maybe like a month or so ago, I learned about yarn dominance in stranded color work, specifically when you're holding yarns in both hands. And the one that is in your left hand is the one that is the primary color that will show through in your tension. That was something I did not know. And had I known that on both of these, and looking back and knowing how I held my yarn, it makes sense because I can tell which one was which based on how my tension looks. So, knowing that, moving forward with the rest of this project and future stranded color work, I know what I need to do to have my colors pop the way that I want them to. That was something, like I said, I did not know until I was watching some videos recently, and it made total sense. And I can make that adjustment moving forward. So I'm going to put my little stitch stoppers on there and move my progress keeper. It's a little squirrel. I wish I had like a little Christmas tree. That'd be really cute. But it's just like a little, she's moving a lot. It's just like a little acrylic squirrel. Very cute. So that is going to go on here so that when I show this at the end of September, hopefully I have this done. I don't put Christmas decorations up until after Thanksgiving. That is me thing. I wait till after Thanksgiving, then it can be all Christmas all the time. But I still like to enjoy fall. And that is in my Can Do Crafts Maker's Tote that I made that has the faux leather bottom. So this is really nice because it holds this project perfectly with all of my yarn for the color work. I forgot about my my Musselburgh hat. So the last I showed this, it was here, and I finished all my decreases. And this is the aerial mohair left over from this, my tessellated, and some extra that was given to me because I didn't quite have enough. But yeah, my Musselburgh hat. So it has the double layers. It is super soft, super warm. And I am very excited to be able to wear this. I don't know if I did my measurements wrong or I was following the wrong size. I have my hairs up, so I can't put it on right now. It fits me around really well, but for how I like to wear my hats, I wish it was either a little bit longer so I could fold my brim up a little bit more. Otherwise, it fits me a little bit weird, and maybe that's just a me thing. And then it's a little too tall to wear like this. So what I found for me to wear it that works really well is to fold my brim partway up in the front and leave it in the back. So I might adjust that. This is the first, but probably not the last hat that I'm going to make like this because it is a great use of scraps. It's a super easy project that comes together really quickly. So this was another finished object in August. So I'm glad to have that off my needles. It's been on there for a while and I'm glad to have it off. I just realized I'm also missing a whip. So we're going to talk about a couple that I have planned. One of them is a sister to the tessellated vest, which is my tessellated pullover. However, there's not much to show on that because there's only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of ribbing. That's all I've done. Not very far on that at all. And I don't have it here to show you. I don't know. It's in my bag that I took with me the other day. So it's fine. But on my Instagram stories, I had shown the Snow Pine, the Nebula, Snow Pine by Wool and Pine, the Nebula by Andrea Mowry, and the Tessellated Pullover by Andrea Mowry. And the Tessellated Pullover definitely was the winner. But I already have my Snow Pine cast on. I started this as kind of like a casual knit along with a friend, and it has been sitting untouched for almost a year and a half now, which is so sad because these colors are gorgeous and this would be so pretty to wear right now. I love this. This is Foxy Lady, and this is like a beekeeper. Oh, hey, there's my tessellated. Why is it in here? I don't know. I don't remember what the name of this one is, but it's another Emma's Spectacular Sock. It's like beekeeper, queen bee. Oh, there's the label. Crazy beautiful color. Bee's knees. So it was the November 2022, and then I got switched to bee's knees. And then I think the brown is crazy beautiful color. And I know that this orange is Foxy Lady. And the reason that Snow Pine has not gotten a ton of work done is because it's not very portable, because it's connected to 5 strands of yarn. So this is probably going to end up going in my work on at home rotation, because this sweater is gorgeous and this needs some love and I really want to wear this. This is a gorgeous fall color palette. But like I said, the tessellated pullover got the most love on that pull, and that's all I have of my tessellated. This is in Barocco vintage, and then I guess another very autumnal color palette, and I'm kind of hoping to work on this one so I can wear it for Thanksgiving. It'll be either Snow Pine or tessellated that I am going to work on. Try to have that done by Thanksgiving. We'll see. And last but not least from that poll was Andrea Mowry's Nebula. I loved this pattern as soon as it was released. I bought it immediately and haven't been able to cast it on. So I did some swatching, and here we have some of those colors I was playing with. I really love this blue mohair, and I paired it with some La Jolla sock, and this is the color Whispering Peach, and I love the way that these work. That is this section right here in my swatch, and I know there's not quite enough of this one because I only have 2, so I'm going to add in this one, which is Birthday Cake, because I feel like that color vibes really well with it. So I'm not going to do some true helical knitting, but I am going to stripe this one in just randomly here and there, so it blends in with this one a little bit better and we get kind of that little bit of a green pop. I'm going to play with it in a swatch just to make sure that that idea works out, but I think that's going to work out really well, to kind of add to that and give it, like I said, another little pop of color. And that is in my little heart drawstring bag with the other yarns I was swatching that did not end up being contenders. But I have one more future project that I plan on casting on. This will be cast on as soon as my Turkish Delight socks are done, and it is in my little sardines bag that I just made for Fish Girl Fall. This is the plover pouch by Noodlehead. I love this little detail on the end. I added my tag on there, and then I did add a little D-ring. Just it's a clip a stitch marker too, and it's really cool because it has an interior zip pocket, and it's supposed to use mesh, but I didn't have any that matched, so I just used fabric. And then I plan on caking up this gorgeous color. I got this at a yarn store in Florida a couple years ago, and I've been waiting for the perfect project for it. Here's the label, and I'm going to make a pair of nest socks. That has been on my list for quite a while, so these will get caked up and cast on as soon as my Turkish Delight are done. So I should probably cake this up so I can get to work on those this weekend. So anyway, that is my next cast on, and I'm also working on a new bag design. So, ooh, Mama's almost done. Do you need me? She's just excited. I'm working on a new ish design for my project bags. So I'm kind of combining my normal style, which is just like a drawstring bag like this, and my boxy drawstring. So we have the two different styles. I kind of combined them into one using similar measurements and made just a simple drawstring bag with the boxed corners. So this will become my medium size. I'm kind of working on restructuring my sizes so they're a little bit make a little more sense, because this is the small, this will be the medium, and I have a bigger one. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is kind of switching to mostly just the fabric without the faux leather so I can bring the cost down. Okay, so this is kind of a hybrid between the two bag styles. So it's the same size as my drawstring with the faux leather. However, it has the fabric throughout, and I'm also going to start adding these little D-ring clips on there. I have a stitch marker on, and then it has a pocket. I just have needles and a try-on cord right there, but that's what the inside looks like. I think what I may end up doing is just pre-cutting a bunch of these and listing them on my Etsy, and I will prep them, have them all ready to go, and I will put the option that you can either select a zipper or a drawstring moving forward, and kind of do them made to order. And then in the yarn store, I will just stock one style with the drawstring. So I can kind of streamline that process a little bit. I like to tie this, and then you can carry it like this. I may also end up adding a carry strap like my other ones have. I kind of just didn't add it to this one. I don't know why, no reason. But yeah, anyway, that is one of my new project bags. I actually just made this one today. It's very fall floral. So if you're interested in this one, let me know. Otherwise, it may turn into one of mine. I have so many bags. I don't need any more. What am I talking about? Anyway, thank you for watching today. I hope you have some good plans for making in the month of September, as many of these projects as I can, so that I can start new things, because I have a lot of projects I want to get to, and not much knitting time. So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me for this little bit of time. Happy making, and we'll see you in October for a roundup of what I was able to do in September.